Have you ever stopped to think that the farms of the future will not be defined solely by technology, but by their ability to save the planet? It might seem like a distant idea, but the truth is we are on the brink of a silent revolution. While many still believe that sustainable farming is an expensive luxury, green farming is challenging all those assumptions. It's more than just a practice. It's the secret that can transform what we eat, how we live, and even the future of the planet. Now, imagine a system that increases productivity while regenerating the soil and reducing carbon emissions. Sound impossible? Well, know that this is already a reality on many farms around the world. And the most surprising part? You can be part of this transformation. But first, let's explore what makes green farming so special and how it is changing everything we thought we knew about agriculture. Imagine a silent revolution that starts in the fields but echoes across the entire world. Green farming is exactly that, an innovative approach combining agricultural practices with sustainable solutions capable of regenerating the soil, protecting the environment, and still increasing productivity. It's not just about growing food, it's about cultivating a future. And now, think with me, what if farms were the heroes the planet so desperately needs? The challenges facing the planet have never been greater, and traditional agriculture seems more like a villain than a solution. This is where green farming steps in, offering a fresh perspective on how to produce without destroying. Have you ever imagined a system where every drop of water is utilized, every gram of fertilizer is natural, and every piece of land works in harmony with nature? That's exactly what we're talking about, and this is just the beginning. For those who think the concept sounds utopian, it's worth taking a moment to understand the basic principles behind it. Green farming combines the most advanced technology with the oldest forms of natural wisdom. From climate sensors that monitor crops in real time to intercropping techniques that our grandparents used, everything is designed to be efficient and sustainable. So, are we truly ready to change? That's the big question. Green farming is not just a beautiful idea. It's a necessity. After all, how can we ensure food on the table without compromising the resources of future generations? The answer lies just ahead, in the green horizon that is beginning to emerge. Conventional agriculture, while it has sustained populations for decades, also carries a burden that is not always visible. The pollution caused by chemical fertilizers, the destruction of entire habitats due to deforestation, and the rampant waste of resources like water and energy are just the tip of the iceberg. The impact goes beyond the fields. It reaches your plate, your health, and of course the planet as a whole. If we stop to reflect, we'll realize that this unsustainable model is leading us toward a cliff. Studies show that agricultural soils are becoming sterile at an alarming rate, and this isn't a problem for tomorrow. It's something we are already facing. And worse, if we continue at this pace, many of the foods we consider staples today may become luxuries in the future. Have you ever thought about a world without affordable coffee, rice, or wheat? It's terrifying. Another critical point is the social impact of this way of producing. Rural communities face financial crises because they rely on expensive and often destructive practices. Moreover, the excessive use of pesticides affects not only farmers but also consumers. It's a vicious cycle that seems endless. And all this to meet a demand that could be addressed more responsibly. The good news is that while some see problems, others begin to envision solutions. Green farming emerges as a light at the end of the tunnel, introducing practices that can change the game. What seems like a dead-end scenario is actually the starting point for something much bigger and much more promising. Green farming is not just an alternative. It's a silent revolution that transforms the way we view agricultural production. This approach combines sustainable techniques with cutting-edge technologies to create a system that respects the environment and enhances results. Think of farms using solar energy to power equipment or smart sensors that optimize water usage. It's the future happening now. A practical example comes from a small farm in rural France that adopted intercropping. They combine fruit trees and vegetables, creating a system where each plant benefits the other, reducing pests and increasing productivity without pesticides. This model, inspired by green farming, saved resources and boosted the farm's profits. It sounds like magic, but it's science applied with wisdom. Regenerative practices are also at the heart of this transformation. Instead of depleting the soil, green farming aims to restore it, using organic fertilizers, crop rotation, and ground cover. Additionally, techniques like no-till farming reduce erosion and maintain soil fertility. It's not just about producing more, but producing better, ensuring sustainability over time. And of course, green technologies make all the difference. From drones monitoring crops to automated irrigation systems, everything is designed to maximize efficiency and minimize waste. It's not about a single solution, but a set of practices working together, showing that it's possible to produce responsibly while reaping the fruits, literally, of a healthier planet. The success of green farming lies in the details, or as we might call them, the secrets that make this approach so effective. The first is the intelligent use of water. Instead of wasting it, every drop is utilized with precision irrigation systems, delivering water exactly where it's needed. It's like watering a plant with a dropper instead of an open hose. This efficiency not only cuts costs, but also protects one of Earth's most precious resources. Another secret is the integration of green technologies. Can you imagine a drone flying over your crops to identify areas with soil nutrition issues? This is already a reality. Sensors monitoring moisture, solar panels powering agricultural machinery, and even apps helping with harvest planning. All of these are part of green farming's toolkit. Here, technology is not a luxury, but an essential ally. But perhaps the greatest secret lies in the very essence of regenerative cultivation. By working in harmony with nature, green farming gives back to the soil what it needs to remain alive and productive. The practice of intercropping, for example, recreates the natural cycles of the ecosystem, where each plant plays a specific role in maintaining environmental balance. It's almost as if the farm becomes a living organism, functioning as a perfect mechanism. Finally, the human element cannot be ignored. Green farming demands a new mindset, one that is more open and connected to the environment. Farmers who adopt these practices report not only improvements in production, but also a renewed sense of purpose. After all, it's not just about growing food, but about being part of a movement that can transform the world. And this is just the beginning. Green farming is not just about farms, it's about the world as a whole. The practices embraced in this model have a direct impact on reducing carbon emissions. Techniques like no-till farming and regenerative cultivation capture carbon in the soil, functioning as natural factories for CO2 sequestration. Imagine a planet where every cultivated piece of land contributes to slowing climate change. That's exactly what green farming proposes. Moreover, it contributes to the restoration of degraded ecosystems. Areas once considered unproductive can be brought back to life through practices like agroforestry management and composting. An impressive example comes from a farm in India that, by adopting regenerative techniques, transformed arid soil into a productive oasis in just 5 years. Green farming not only preserves what we have, but also recovers what we've lost. Food security for future generations is another crucial point. By balancing productivity with sustainability, this model ensures there will be no shortage of food tomorrow. Systems that integrate biodiversity, such as crop intercropping, create natural resilience against pests and climate change. It's a giant step toward a future where no one has to choose between preserving the planet and feeding the population. And as if that weren't enough, green farming inspires a global shift in mindset. It's not just about agriculture. It's about a movement that motivates other sectors to follow the same path. When we see the potential of these practices, it becomes clear that saving the planet isn't a distant dream. It's a practical choice we can begin implementing today. And there's still so much more to explore. Green farming not only transforms the planet, but also the lives of those who work in the fields and those who consume its products. For farmers, profitability is one of the biggest draws. Sustainable products often have higher market value, especially among consumers seeking quality and environmental responsibility. Who wouldn't pay a little more for food produced ethically and healthily? This added value translates to increased income for farmers. Additionally, practices like efficient water and energy use help reduce operational costs. Imagine replacing expensive chemical fertilizers with natural compost made on the farm. It's a cost-saving measure that directly impacts the bottom line. Not to mention the long-term stability that comes with more fertile and resilient soils, reducing the risks of losses caused by climate factors or pests. Fewer expenses, higher returns. That's the way forward. For consumers, the benefits are equally tangible. Healthier, more nutritious food. Products from regenerative practices tend to be richer in nutrients, free of pesticides and ethically grown. It's the difference between a conventional tomato and one that, when sliced, releases the scent of nature. Knowing you're eating something good for your body and the planet makes every meal a celebration. Perhaps the most important aspect is the connection these practices foster between producers and consumers. Green farming shortens distances, creating more transparent and fair relationships. Farmers markets, CSA, community-supported agriculture, programs, and direct sales initiatives are practical examples of how this approach positively impacts the entire food chain. And this is just the surface. Implementing green farming may seem like a big leap, but it all starts with small actions. For farmers, the first step is choosing sustainable techniques that fit their reality. It could be as simple as adopting no-till farming or starting a compost pile. For those in urban areas, supporting local organic markets is already a practical way to promote this transformation. There are also free or affordable resources that make this transition easier. Online courses offered by agroecology institutions are a great starting point. Digital platforms and apps can help with crop planning and resource management. Even a practical manual like a sustainable farming guide can be an excellent tool for beginners. Knowledge has never been so accessible. Partnerships and local initiatives are another essential piece of the puzzle. Many municipalities already have programs to encourage sustainable agriculture, such as subsidies for efficient irrigation systems or distributing native tree seedlings. Joining cooperatives or support networks, like farmer groups that share experiences, can also speed up the learning process. After all, together we go further. The most important thing is to start. It doesn't matter how small the initial step is as long as it's in the right direction. Green farming doesn't require you to change everything at once, but it invites you to evolve continuously. And as each sustainable practice is implemented, the results begin to appear in the fields, in the markets, and in your life. Like any significant change, adopting green farming comes with its challenges. Initial costs are undoubtedly one of the biggest hurdles for farmers. Precision irrigation systems, drones, and renewable energy solutions may seem expensive at first glance. However, it's worth remembering that these investments often pay off quickly by reducing waste and increasing productivity. It's like planting a seed. The initial effort yields fruits over time. Another challenge is cultural. Many farmers, accustomed to conventional practices, find it difficult to adopt new methods. The transition to green farming requires a shift in mindset and often the courage to step out of one's comfort zone. But here lies the opportunity. Those who adopt these practices early tend to stand out in the market, attracting consumers who value sustainability and quality. The good news is that there are growing incentives and opportunities for those who choose this path. Governments and NGOs are expanding subsidies for sustainable practices, while the global market for organic and regenerative products continues to grow. For agricultural entrepreneurs, this means a chance to lead a movement that's just beginning, and at the same time, ensure greater financial stability. Ultimately, the future belongs to those who persist. Each challenge overcome is a learning opportunity, and every small victory strengthens the purpose. Green farming is not just a passing trend. It's an inevitable movement for those who see beyond the immediate horizon. And for those who dare to believe in the potential of this approach, the future holds rewards beyond imagination. Real-life stories have the power to turn concepts into inspiration. One such story comes from Brazil, where a small family farm in the interior of Minas Gerais adopted green farming practices to revitalize depleted soil. Through techniques like composting and crop intercropping, this farm not only regained its productivity, but also became a regional reference. Today, they produce high-quality food and attract visitors eager to learn about sustainability. Another inspiring example comes from a farm in Germany that integrated advanced technology with regenerative cultivation. By using sensors to monitor soil health and automated irrigation systems, they managed to reduce water usage by 40%. Additionally, by planting fruit trees between wheat fields, they created ecological corridors that increased local biodiversity. This approach brought both environmental and financial gains, proving that innovation and tradition can go hand in hand. In Africa, a collective of women farmers transformed arid lands into productive gardens using regenerative methods. With training and local support, they implemented agroforestry systems and now harvest food and hope. These women not only ensure the livelihood of their families, but are also reshaping their community landscape, demonstrating how green farming can empower and transform lives. These stories are just the tip of the iceberg. Across the globe, farms of all sizes are embracing green farming and reaping results that go far beyond measurable numbers. Looking at these transformations, it becomes clear that the future of agriculture is already being written, and it is greener than ever. In the end, green farming is not just a choice, it's a commitment to the future. Every decision made in the field, every practice adopted, contributes to a more sustainable and balanced world. Imagine the collective impact of thousands of farms adopting these practices, a regenerated planet, restored ecosystems, and healthier food on everyone's table. It's powerful to think that all of this can start with a single action from you. The planet is crying out for help, and each of us has a role to play. Whether you are a farmer, a consumer, or someone interested in a better world, your choices make a difference. By adopting or supporting green farming, you not only transform the present, but also plant hope for future generations. It's like giving a gift to the earth, with fruits that will be harvested for decades. So, the question is, what can you do today? It could be something small like learning more or supporting sustainable products. Or it could be something big, like completely transforming your farm or inspiring your community to follow this path. The important thing is to start. Like any harvest, the first steps may be difficult, but the reward is worth every effort. The future is in your hands. How about becoming part of this transformation right now? After all, the changes we want to see in the world begin within each of us. And remember, the planet and future generations are counting on your choice and thanking you for it. Now that you know the transformative power of green farming, the big question is, what will you do with this knowledge? Are you ready to turn your actions into real impact? If you're a farmer, you can start adopting regenerative practices today and discover a world of possibilities. If you're a consumer, choose to support those who are already making a difference. Small decisions can create massive change, and you have the power to start this movement. Think about it. What legacy do you want to leave? The future we desire won't happen by chance, but through the choices we make now. Don't let challenges paralyze you. See the opportunities. And remember, every sustainable practice you support or implement is a step toward a more balanced, healthy, and prosperous planet for all. So, what are you waiting for? If you're committed to continuing this journey, subscribe to the channel and activate notifications. Let's explore the infinite possibilities of green farming together and build a future worth striving for. Because the secret to the farms of the future isn't somewhere far away. It's within everyone's reach. And you can start now. Up next, I'll leave a video about how to start agriculture organic farming. See you soon. Let's move towards a bountiful Earth.